Hi guys, it's Gary Bain here with another episode of Strikes, Spares, and Gutters. First of all, I wanted to thank you so much for tuning in last week and looking at episode 1 with Bill Wood, owner of Whitewood Lanes. I had a blast talking to Bill about what it takes to run a bowling center and some of the plans that he has for the future. That will probably be in another episode, but really enjoyed some of the insights he had about bowling. Anyway, the only critique I had was from my friend in Dallas, who's also my audio guy, and he said, "Gary, you're doing a bowling vlog. Why aren't you wearing a bowling shirt? What's up, dude?" And I was like, well, gosh, I didn't even think about it. You know, I just got in front of the camera with what I had on. So in the future, I'll be wearing some kind of bowling attire that is appropriate to a bowling vlog. I'm hoping through this vlog that'll probably last through the end of the summer that you learn more about bowling, more about techniques, that you get to meet some of the best bowlers here in Lubbock and around the region. And I hope you get something out of it. I hope we have fun. I'm hoping to make you laugh, hoping not to make you cry, but you know, you never know. But I do have a lot of interviews lined up and some ideas for future episodes, so I think they'll all be interesting, and I hope you think so as well. Today's guest is one of the top bowlers here in Lubbock, Texas. In fact, he owns the city record for the highest series in town. He's one of the top bowlers in the region and the state of Texas. He served our nation in the Air Force, and we want to thank him very much for his service. He's a really nice guy and was very generous with his time to sit down and talk to me about bowling. I think he gives us some great insight into how he approaches the sport of bowling, some of the techniques he uses to get his head right. One of the things that he talks about is the mystery of oil, and as we all know, it is a mystery to most of us. But I think he's got a really good idea about how to approach the oil, how to live with the oil, and how to defeat the oil, actually. Thanks again for watching. Keep bowling, keep getting those high scores, and here is Scott McCleery.
Well, I'm Scott McCleery, and I am a computer network engineer currently here in Lubbock, Texas, when I'm not bowling. And have a family, have a wife, 3 kids. They all bowl, so we are here 90% of the time when we're not at work. So this is truly a second home. I am from Abilene originally. I started bowling there at Triangle Lanes. In fact, that's where I originally met my wife, Beverly McCleery. I started when I was about 9-10 years old. My wife's mom and my dad bowled a league together, so we met bowling down there as kids and been doing it ever since. You could have a plumber, a camera guy, a computer guy. You could have a mayor, a weatherman, everybody come together and be as one and talk and have a relationship. And the bowling community is a very strong community. So you don't have to be the most athletic person. You don't have to have the best style. And Belmo proves it, and other guys that have all the different styles, to include Wes Millot or any of us guys like local here, to include me or Tony Willis and Hank Jordan or Daryl Clements. You get any of us together, we are not nearly even close to being the same style, but all of us can score. You have to work on it. It's nothing that's going to just happen overnight. You have to work. And if you're not willing to work, it's just like anything else. You're going to get out what you put in. I just got back from a couple other tournaments, and there's nothing like it. It's just nothing like it. That pressure, that sense of going against the best and competing the best and kind of seeing where you're at. You may not always win. You may not always be in the top 3, top 5, top 10%. But the fact that you're out there doing what you love and enjoying it, that's what really matters. My high game is 300. Somewhere around 29 or 30. And my high set is the 878 that I shot recently, which is now the Lubbock City record. And but I have 45 800 series. I don't know, it was kind of crazy because it was a brand new ball. Just drilled it. It was the first 3 games I threw with it. It was a Roto Grip Hustle Pro. Mr. Hank Jordan drilled it for me, and it really wasn't even for here. It was for a tournament elsewhere, and it was pretty awesome. If I was to count them up at the house right now, I probably, just me alone, probably have 20. I don't necessarily use all 20. I have 12 right now that I consistently use. I've given away quite a few over the years. Within a year, I may go through 6 or 7 a year. and donate them either to the kids or to my wife if she wants them, or to anybody else that may need them. Equipment has come so far compared to the polyester urethane days of the burgundy hammer, purple hammer, and then when you get into the reactives of the critical mass back in the day, nitro R squared, nitro R. You start talking about that stuff, and the game now is actually much easier than it ever used to be. So that's why USBC and proprietors on these tournaments have had to come up with some unique oil patterns to make the game a lot more difficult than it used to be as far as sport goes. In some respects, you can compare it to golf and reading a green in some respects, but the green you can see. You can see the slope. You can see which way the grass is going. On oil, you have to what we call read and react. You throw the ball, you read what it's doing, and you react. And some of that comes from knowing your equipment. You have these benchmark balls, your typical ball that you're going to throw and be able to make an adjustment off of and get a good read off of. And it changes. It changes game to game, shot to shot. It changes. And honestly, that is probably the hardest thing to learn for any new bowler to try and understand. They can get the balls, they can get the equipment, but understanding why this is doing this and this is doing that is the real issue. When I get set, literally it's okay. I visualize what I want it to look like, what I want the ball reaction to look like. At that point, it's just one shot at a time, make a good shot. If you don't make a good shot, it's okay. But you can't shoot anything unless you're telling yourself, make a good shot, and that's all you're focused on. Anytime you start focusing on the negative, you're going to do whatever you're focusing on the negative, and that's where the mental game comes into. So no matter what, I'm always telling myself, just make a good shot. My dad, he used to just drop me off at the bowling center and let me go bowl. You know, he would, all right, just give me a call or I'll be back here in a few hours, see if you're ready. It's kind of what it was, and it just became the life. It's something him and I could do together, me and my wife could do together, me and my kids could do together, and keep us grounded at that point. And it's very, very family oriented.